Hey brothers, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Timothy Tillman and I'm a somatic therapist and the founder of FireTenders Men's Work. Today I'd like to speak a little bit about some upcoming opportunities we have within the FireTenders world in Santa Barbara, and also share a little bit about my path that's led me to be involved in this kind of work and why it's so important to me and the value I see it having on men's lives. It's probably been about, 25 years ago, I think I started on this path, really being vested and interested in the body and experience itself, and being an adventurer both outwardly and then eventually inwardly. I began to see that, a lot of the struggles I was having, whether it was in relationship or within my own mind, states of depression, anxiety at times, that there was something else going on. And instead of continuing to run from myself and reach for the next external distraction, I had some teachers that were able to reflect and say, it's in there, it's with you, stop. And so luckily I began to do that and was able to see myself and see how some limiting beliefs and history of experiences had created a sense of almost a false self that was creating more trouble than it was worth. So that's when experience became so important to me, especially experiences that I can feel and sense in my body. Not to just talk about it. Talk is helpful at times for communication, but it can also lead us to being further away from ourselves in more of a conceptual or virtual reality than actually being here with direct experience. So a good bit of my path was then taking up practices of embodiment, of meditation, of time in nature, where that's what I was focusing on, really clearing out and opening up to what was really going on in here and who I'd become through these experiences. So about 10 years ago, after sitting in men's groups, for a long time and realizing that they were really helpful, but I wanted them to be more experiential, embodied. I wanted to study this self with other men and support other men in doing that, to lead to greater states of freedom, to be able to put down the things that are creating unnecessary suffering in our lives. So that was really my passion for starting FireTenders. And at the time I had a lot of fire and a lot of heat that I didn't know what to do with. And I knew I didn't want to do it alone, nor could I really deal with that kind of fire alone. So I called together a posse of brothers to really hold me in that and challenge me in that, and then expecting I could do the same for them. So that work's grown over the years. We have many FireTenders groups now happening, and the basis of the work is the direct experience. It is happening through these bodies. So that's how it's an embodied process. We meditate, we move through embodied exercises, we study the self to see, what's real and what's not. So one of the big things for me that's so important in this work is a sense of spaciousness. Without that ingredient, without that ability to breathe, to step outside of ourselves and look, it's very difficult. It gets very confusing and muddled, especially when we're staying in the conceptual left brain mind. I happen to be in the desert this week. I'm lucky to have a retreat and a cleanse this week, and I'm reminded how important space is, the quietness, the openness. So even if we can't go somewhere to achieve that, it's here, and it starts with our breath. So take a moment here. Find your breath, feel it moving in through your nose or your mouth, taking in the space around you, the sky, the space in the room you're sitting in. Breathing in that spaciousness and let it meet whatever you find in your body. Maybe there's some tension. Right now, from looking at a screen, I can feel some tension in my forehead. So finding that tension, that holding. Bring the breath and your awareness to that space. For me, I'm breathing into my forehead right now, seeing if that can soften a little bit. Just seeing what happens when you bring your awareness and the breath there. On the inhale, meeting it with your breath. On the exhale, releasing down, letting go. Let your body feel heavy and weighted on the earth. The earth is a great resource for all that we carry. Tension in our mind, tension in our bodies, in our heart. We have the ability to breathe in space, to make this more of a spacious experience. That's the beginning of how we begin to access our fire, our passion, our mission, if you will. If we're all clogged up, it's like we've got too much fuel on the fire. It's too damp, can't breathe, so we need more space. So that's why spaciousness is the first elemental tenet that we work with. Hope that's helpful. We've got a couple programs coming up. A new program called Tasting the Fire, which is an evening event on June 12th, where you'll get a deeper sense of these practices and then how I would work with you one-on-one and how the other facilitators can do one-on-one work that helps us go even deeper. So this will give you a taste of what Tending the Fire, our flagship program, is about. The intensive is a 3-day intensive coming up in July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd up at the top of Mission Canyon. So we get to meet together in the yurt and get down to business, get down to this business, right? Play together, breathe together, move together. And in that time you get a session, a deeper session where you can get a hold of maybe some of the limiting beliefs that we've cognized over time that live in these bodies and have impact on how we feel, how we relate, what we're up to. So that's the deeper part of the work. So come join us. Come for that Tasting the Fire event, a free event, so you can get a sense of this work of tending your own fire. In the meantime, keep breathing, keep inviting some more spaciousness into your being. Feel it. Drop out of that mental busyness for a few moments. All right, I look forward to meeting you guys and seeing you on the 12th or sometime soon. Take care.